evening healing. I'm time shifting to the time space 10 p.m. And if you're open to receiving this healing, just say, I receive within my heart. Dear Source Creator, may you please share with me a translucent golden shield of life. Thank you. I have now received this translucent golden shield of life. Good evening. I'm glad that you can make it. It is now getting warmer. I am very relaxed at the moment, in the here and now. I spent some time going to the library and printing off all the Christ letters and laminating all of them. It took me a while. I am doing. Mm, I am doing good so far. I said I wanted to repeat myself from earlier, but I'm really good right now. Welcome. No, you don't see this every day. I don't really do shout outs, but I can say welcome because mainly is because I always butcher people's name when I speak it. But I can say welcome, Sherry. It's putting a lot more smoke than I thought it would. I'm going do a little bit of cord cutting today. So visualize where you feel tension and stress within your body, any energetic cords, and visualize that these cords are being removed. Mainly, these cords are usually attached to the bottom of the heart chakra, the sides of the neck, the shoulders, the root, the sacral chakra. And these cords are just thought fragments, electric magnetic cords, almost like a telephone line. Or it can just be energy that's magnetized in your field. Surrounding the violet flame. Now I'll ask Archangel Michael to seal off all the soul tears within, so your energy will no longer leak. He said, "What are you doing?" I am doing Reiki visualization. I'm mainly working with your energetic body or etheric body, or technically just working with my own energetic and being like a mirror reflection, like a permission slip for your own inner healing. But the only way this works is if you believe it works. If you believe that this does not work for you, then it will not work for you. It would just seem like this random person moving his hands. Try not to get it too smoky in here because I have the firewood, but it's still wet. For any of the new viewers, I am in a tent right now. An extended camping trip that lasts almost a year. I was thinking about getting really creative and build a house out here with all the woods and stuff. But I don't think I can do it. Let some smoke out. Hey, so you know that it's getting hot when the pipes start to glow. The pipe on my wood stove. Surround in the violet flame. repeating, visualizing the word peace while simultaneously feeling the vibration of peace. It's super hot. Visualize unclenching the mind. Just unclenching the mind. Releasing. Unclench and drop down into the body, to solar plexus. Now I ask Archangel Gabriel for your white ray to be placed into the heart chakra. Thank you. Let go of time. Let go of location. Enter into stillness and peace. Now I'm going to visualize a different type of cord thing, where I grab the cord and I pull it through the fire, immediately transmuting it. I would say it's more like a small, thin layer of a veil that's over the third eye. Just cleaning the third eye. What's burning up there? Something's burning. Oh, that's not the scooter. No, it melted. Oh well. Trying not to set my hair on fire. Take these headphones off. One moment. Light a star to amplify the energy in the fire. May I radiate the violet flame from my eyes. I ask Master Melchizedek for your indigo ray of light for the third eye chakra. Thank you. Oh, I felt that. As this fire slowly burns away all tensions and stress within the body, setting the intention to direct all the energy that does not serve our highest good directly into the fire for transmutation. I should also as well do a cord cutting, but with the physical cord while I'm doing this, because this may help someone out there. So, 1 moment. So, using a physical thread representation is going to be like, don't hold the thread. This thread represents the prison I have in relation to the soul which disturbs me. From now on, I decide that this contract, this agreement, this blood oath, this blood pact, this alliance, whatever agreement I have made with this soul will be broken here and now. I ask my Archangel Michael, with your sword of light, may you cut, 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 cut this contract. And then it can be any type of cord. It doesn't have to be malicious or anything like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cords can be any type. A cord can be a promise that you made to someone like when you was younger. Or a cord can be like an oath that you took or any type of thing. And a lot of these cords come from our past lives. So to set that, burn it. Release it. I'm just wondering, has anyone studied a little bit of the Christ letters, or has any part of it spark a flame within you? I'm just curious. I've been reading a lot of letter 1, 5, and 3. I have my notes over here. In letter 1, he says, consciousness is life, and life is consciousness. Oh, there's no problem if you haven't started. But it's never too late to listen to the first 4. That is in progress. The more you read them, the stronger the energy becomes. So in this one he says, consciousness is life, and life is consciousness. And how I see is consciousness, and then my body is life, and then life is consciousness. So they're intertwined together because my body possesses consciousness. And how I was looking around, everything around us is consciousness, but we possess conscious awareness. And he said the creative power of both divine, universal mind behind and within is give me one sec. The creative power of both divine, universal mind behind and within and behind the universe. So within and behind, you really when you do something like this, when you read it, you have to visualize the meaning of the word in motion. Because if you just read it, if you read it one time, it doesn't make sense at first. So you have to read it and then meditate on it and read it. You have to go over and over and over until eventually it starts to take form within your mind. Thank you. He said, in any dimension of existence, it is the mind, the intelligence exhibited, which was the all important factor relating to the creation and man himself. And then I did this little thing where at the different, when I had like a realization, I write the time. You don't really have to do this, but I started to like log the time that I did it because I was trying to keep track of like high ebb, low ebb. Because there's some points of the day where our vibration goes really up and then it goes down and then it goes up and then it goes down. I know YouTube Live is probably not the best place to do a study group, but because I know this is supposed to be Reiki, but I find this very important and it's really helping. And I find it a lot better to, what I done is I printed all the Christ letters, the original ones, and then I laminated all of them. So now I can read them without going online or using technology. Like one thing that was like really like sparking my curiosity is when he was talking about the word and how he was saying words are very special consciousness patterns. It has a different feel to it when you read it. It's almost like you can feel the emotions of the person who have written it. It's like each word they write, if you like feel the emotion with it, you feel it through your whole entire body. You feel their heart rate, how they was breathing, the emotions that they was feeling at the exact moment they written the word. And how I read it is like when you say I prefer reading the material rather than digitally also, it's like I read it slowly and then visualize. So when you say I, then prefer, then I feel the energy. It's like bonding reading, and then I feel like reading is like bonding energy coming in the material rather than digitally. It's like you visualize the feeling of the word. Before you begin your studies with the Christ letters, ask for clarity, wisdom, and courage to continue. As Archangel Michael says in Awakening You channel, when you begin to read the Christ letters, it's like hopping in the car or walking on the treadmill. So imagine like we're on our path to the fifth dimension, walking to the train station. And you know how sometimes in the train stations or at the airport, they have these flat boardwalks that you stand on and they're moving in a direction and it allows you to walk faster when you're in the airport. When you read the Christ letters, it's like stepping onto that and you're going fast forward. Your vibration is going up super fast. And when you step off it, you're walking normally again. But then when you start reading them again, you start fast forwarding again. So that's how it is, the Christ letters. It still amazed me that these letters came out like 20 years ago and they're just now being brought up. I guess 20 years ago, everybody wasn't ready to hear them. Oh, the candle is done. Time to replace it. It's done. This one's done. I have a whole bunch more though. Okay. Here's my other candle. I just had it. Big purple. It's a little broken, but it will work. I say, only read it when you feel like you need to read it. I said, don't just do it just because I say it. You have to really feel it within your heart. Okay. It's super smoky. Have it as one large binder, super heavy binder. But I wanted to read just a little bit of it. And my reading is not the best. Let's see. There's one I really want to share. He said, I learn in many different ways. Most things are just confirmation. It's like a great remembrance. So I just want to go over this real quick. This is from, I believe, letter 1. It's like letter one. It looks like the laws of existence. So in this one, he says, the nature of the creative power is growth. Every living thing always grows. Growth is a universal characteristic, an undividing principle of existence. He said, two, the nature of the creative power is nutrition and nourishment. Nutrition and nourishment are a normal and marvelous organized process within body which is evident to all who take the trouble to consider them. Nutrition is provided for all living things according to individual preference, and the food is digested to promote health and well-being. When little creatures are born, milk is already supplied within the mother, ready and waiting for the newborn. This is a mystifying principle of existence none can deny. No science can explain why such a fortitude function within the system, ensuring survival of the species should have originally come into being. The actual function itself may be understood, but not the way. Sorry if this is like boring, but this is very, very important. I just want to read it. The nature of the creative power is healing. Healing is a natural characteristic of existence and can be said to be a natural perfecting process which takes place to ensure individual comfort, but none can explain what promotes the activity of healing. Activity is electric, so that's father, and the mother is healing, which is bonding. The nature of the creative power is protection. Protection is an integral characteristic of the creative power, and all of it is oh shoot, I need some light. Can't see the word. It's reflective. I'm also trying to be a little bit quiet because I don't want to speak too loud. I ask for clarity of speech and a deeper understanding. Thank you. Which protection? I'll just start over again. Protection is an integral characteristic of the creative power, and all of its seeming miraculous. I need to practice that word. Activity in the world is a great grander towards protection. Today, your medicine textbooks describe the various protective systems in your body, but when I was in the desert, I saw the characteristics of protection inherent in the intelligent creative power. I was thinking intellect. Was it intelligible? That's it. Creative power. In the following way, as plants and birds and animals were presented to me. This is when he's saying this, he's speaking from Christ's perspective. So as he said in the later one, as he's seen the animals, he was able to see the cells within the animal's body. And when I was reading this, it immediately threw me back to when I was having a mushroom experience. I remember when I was looking at my hand in the mushroom experience, I was seeing like how all the cells in my body was like moving and pulsing and stuff. So then when I was reading this, I was like, oh, so that's what he was describing. So then I was like, okay. So I kept reading more. And then, so like, all the experiences I had with like the mushrooms and the weed and all that type of stuff. When I read the Christ letters, it explained to me what was actually happening, transmuting to light. Remember to breathe and relax. I feel the energy going. I do Reiki healing, but I also want this channel to be more than just Reiki. That is why also this is the progression of the soul. Almost done. The characteristic of protection is combined. Okay, number 5. These are the laws. So the laws of, I would say, what do you say? Laws of creation. I don't have all of it right now. One moment, I feel something. Ego mind. I'm asking my ego mind to move to the left shoulder. You're not to participate. You're only to observe. Only to observe. I surrender my ego mind to the higher self. Well, maybe I'm acting out of my ego mind, trying to teach others. But ultimately, it is not up to me to make others learn. They must learn on their own. So, I'll study. Study alone. Anyway, surrounding in the violet flame. Never say shouldn't. What you see, you're meant to see. The test is, how would you respond to what you see? Will you see what you see and say, fill your heart with light? Or will you revolt and reject what you see? The test is to accept what you see with light and unconditional love. Then you'll be allowed to see more. But if you see beyond and reject it, you put a barrier up against the divine, and you won't be able to see more. That's why you ask Archangel Michael for his assistance and helping us to overcome the revulsion and repulsion of what we see. Because we begin to see a lot of things. That is the property of opening the third eye. You see the ugly truths, the things that are not so pretty that has been happening this whole entire time. But we cannot respond to it. We just have to see it as it is. And move, expand further. Imagine your awareness is like a little dot and it expands. When it expands and hits the edges, you begin to see what was always happening that was around you. Now the only way you can move past it is by expanding past it. Accepting it, okay, accept this is part of my reality, and now I move past it. But if you see it and you revolt, you go back down. So you need to go past it. Well, all that information, it is on the Awakening You channel. Remember that you are safe and relax. Nothing and no one can attack you unless you allow it. No one has power over you unless you allow it. Death is only a transition. This is why it's very important to finish studying the Christ letters. Move past letter 4 and continue. Continue the journey. We must reject fear, transmute it into light, reject doubt, transmute it into light. That prayer that I posted 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, was a prayer that I was supposed to say before I go to sleep. What I usually do, he explained it in there, I think it was letter 6 or 7. It's emotional patterns or mental patterns where we learn to reject the impulses of envy, greed, hatred, condemnation, slander, criticism, judgmentalism. All these impulses needs to be removed from our consciousness. You notice once you start to remove these impulses from your consciousness, the less dark things you begin to see, because all those impulses is what feed the dark energy. When you begin to cleanse your consciousness of these impulses, as Jesus explains in the Christ letters, you begin to be filled with more light, and you be able to connect to the divine more easily. Or the whole purpose of the Christ letters is to cleanse and clear and bring to your awareness what has brought you into being and who you really are. But I can only speak, and I do not expect anyone to be able to change over just a few words. It's a long journey. But I'm just telling everybody they really need to start. Now is better than never. Because if we don't, we will continually repeat the circle. This is the way to break out of the circle, constantly going in a circle, where you just start spiraling up. I'm now visualizing raising the vibration, going higher, 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 asking assistance of my spiritual masters, and lifting the backpacks and weight from the shoulders, removing all doubt from the mind, unclenching the story, unclenching the emotion story that our mind tells us. Let it go. Let go of worry, let go of stress, let go of anxiety. Step into stillness, peace, and equilibrium. Equilibrium. Let go of judgmentalism. Let go of criticism. Let go of condemnation. All these lower our vibration. And when we lower our vibration, we become more acceptable to the energies that we do not prefer. unconsciously we pull them into our reality because that is their food. So if we want to stop feeding them, we must cleanse our consciousness of these impulses. Whenever we judge another person, it's like we cut off the divine flow. And it's like putting a rubber band on your energetic field. And then that part of your energy starts to die off. And then they, it's like that part is like ripped off of you. It's like clamped off. So we have to be very mindful of every word and every thought that we think. Because the first person to get hit is ourselves. And that is like the whole scheme of the Dark Ones. They want us to judge each other because they know that when we judge each other and criticize each other, we destroy ourselves, thinking that we're doing something to the other, but we're self-destructing. And when we self-destruct, we rip pieces of ourself off and we fragment ourselves. And that becomes the food for the Dark Ones. But when we start to accept ourselves and accept others, we become whole. And the dark beings can't eat a whole person, a whole being. They only can go after people who fragment themselves unconsciously. The dark beings have no power at all. So they had to manipulate and convince you that you do not have power. And you do. Every one of us has the Christ spark within us, the divine spark of Father, Mother, life. Well, it is now time for me to exit, surrounding you in the violet flame, and I'm giving one pink ray. Through Archangel Chamuel, I ask Archangel Chamuel to deliver this pink ray to those who are of need of it for their appropriate amount. Remember that you are safe, you are protected, and you are powerful. May your day or night be filled with life. Namaste.